You are now listening and watching the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Sheena Liao and Emil Nate taking care of your wrestling fixation for the Monday evening blues. Lassie, Ro, and Stan tonight, they are off taking care of their respective responsibilities, but don't worry, the show must go on, as they always say. Kaya nandito kami ni Emil taking care of you and breaking things down or that happened over the weekend. Diba, Emil?
Yep, it was a pay-per-view weekend, diba, with Full Gear, and we also got SmackDown and AAA to talk about. Yeah, a lot of
Yes,
things happened. Yeah.
that is right. So, guys, if you are listening to us on YouTube and you are not subscribed, ano pa hinihintay nyo, guys? What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Send us a like. Share the video. Give us a comment. It really goes a long, long way for our revenue.
Yes.
For our social media awareness. Also on Spotify, if you're
Yep.
listening to this on Spotify, a follow, a comment, a rating, all of those things mean a lot to our little wrestling outfit here. So please do share our episodes, listen to our episodes, give us a like and a follow. All right, now let's move on to AEW, of course. The big show that happened over the weekend was Full Gear and ang daming title changes na nangyari. So
Yep.
best way to break all of that down is to start from the very, very top. Samoa Joe is your new AEW World Champion following a very brutal steel cage match, which also showed a heel turn care of Hook. Hook unexpectedly turning on Hangman and finally rejoining his brothers in the Ops. And then syempre, inupakan nila si Hangman. The celebration involved a brutal beatdown, and we thought it was all over until we got a near Chiron fake out, I would say. A near Chiron fake out with a returning Swerve Strickland. I almost called him by his old name. Swerve Strickland coming out for the save. So, anong thoughts mo dito, Emil?
First of all, let's talk about the match. I mean, it was a good match. I think I read somewhere that it's the shortest main event in AEW pay-per-view history. Actually, so it wasn't that long. It was still an action filled main event. We saw a lot of blood. you know, um, a lot of people may be surprised by the Joe win, but we did say no live stream that I kind of want to see it, and I won't be surprised if TK actually pulls the trigger here. I'm not saying that the Hangman title reign is bad, but there's so much here that they can do with Samoa Joe's being champion, and clearly TK, TK saw the same vision, and he gave Joe here a another world title reign here. Yung returning swerve was I didn't expect it to happen yet, but I did see reports then before the show na this is the show where he might make his return, and he did nga at the end. Returned with a brand new theme song, which was very surprising to me considering how iconic Big Pressure was and how that song became synonymous with Swerve in his main event run. But it is a good song. I like it, but it's just a surprising change. And then he looked jacked. He looked bigger than the last time we saw him. And we thought he was gonna go after Hangman again, but they swerved us at the end. So I aligned pa rin si Hangman and si Swerve, and I think this might lead to another three-way between three of them for the world title at some point. But the looks of it right now, I'm just glad that Swerve is back.
I also like the return. We'll get to that soon. I like how they put the title back on Joe because
Mm.
Samoa Joe is a very impressive heel, diba? It's a
Yep.
very imposing heel. So the fact that he gets to enforce his heelishness again is good, but it's better for Hangman because we've said it time and again on this podcast. Faces look better when they're chasing after titles. Diba? That's what makes you want to cheer for a face because they're chasing after something, right? Instead of them being on top, di wala silang goal kasi champions sila, diba? So, this is a good story, diba? It still shows that Hangman is still the main character, more or
Yep.
less, of AEW, pero he just has an antagonist now, and the antagonist is Samoa Joe, who is perfect for him. He's a perfect foil because it just goes to show that all that scheming Joe did in the build-up to this match paid off because he's champion, right? So that's great. And I like how they incorporated Hook again. Hook finally has a role that he's perfect for, he's fit into, diba? So the fact that he's back with the Ops, I like that. I'll be honest, I was really worked by the Swerve return because I kind of forgot about him. It's just like he's out. It's very out of sight, out of mind for me. So the fact that he's back is great, and I never expected him to turn on Hangman at this rate. Parang gatong na lang yun eh. If they bring him out and he also rails on Hangman, medyo not the logical for step
Yep.
here in the story. So I like how he's still a face. I like how he's there to make the save. And it's just gonna really boil over in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I like na hindi nabura yung character development that they had
Yeah.
like this year, di ba? Kasi
Oh.
they were mortal enemies last year, but Hangman went on this redemption arc. Same with Swerve, di ba? So I like how they
I mean,
maintained.
Swerve put his burning house
Yeah.
on the Chiron now. So, I guess over the siya dun.
Like I'm still glad that they still kept the mutual respect thing, even though they're not technically allies just yet. Diba? So they're still we're still gonna go through that, diba? In this with the way they ended it and the way it looked at the end, na baka okay, they might team up here at some point, so they're still gonna go over that story. But I'm glad na hindi nabura yung character development, which is something that like AEW is doing good at, honestly.
Yeah, it's really, first of all, it's nice to see. I've been critical of AEW storytelling. So it's nice to see that they can actually tell a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, na hindi lang puro wrestling na isang oras, diba? So it's nice that that's a thing. Diba? It's funny that you said that this holds the record for shortest main event match because it is a long pay-per-view. So
Yes, it
we
was.
were I guess rewarded or spared from another Broadway with this one, diba? So but
Mhm.
a lot more title changes happened throughout the night. Mark Briscoe is your new TNT champion, and FTR becomes the new tag team champions, making them the tag team with the most title reigns with 3 dito sa AEW. So your thoughts, Emil Nate?
Let's go over the Mark Briscoe win first. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for Mark. And I predicted na because of the stipulation that was set, it was almost a giveaway na Mark Briscoe was going to win the match because he's a face. And at this point, I don't think I can root against Mark Briscoe considering everything that he went through, with Jay's death and in his own run as well, which made him one of the most captivating baby faces in AEW. So him finally winning a singles title in AEW was really like satisfying to watch. And kudos as well to Kyle Fletcher. He was a hell of a TNT champion, and what a way to end your title reign with a banger against Mark Briscoe. Pagdating naman sa FDR, I think I expected it at this point. When Brodito won the titles, I was like, okay, it's a matter of time before the titles get to FDR again. I just felt like ayoko sabihin na transitional champion yung Brodito because they did have a good run with the titles. Like they had several bangers. Again, Bandito, I've been singing his praises this year. He's on a terrific run, and their tag team, it was a makeshift tag team, but man, what a tag team run they had this year. So, but at the same time, I was thinking, okay, if they're gonna lose the titles here to someone, it will be FTR, and it's funny how it all worked out. Like FTR are champions again, and they prove it. I mean, FTR is FTR. I mean, we take them for granted at this point because every match of them feels like Broadway. But when FTR is wrestling on TV, you're always guaranteed to get a classic. So I'm glad that they're champions again, for sure.
You take them for granted. I do not. I love FTR. So the fact that they are champions again is amazing to me. It's also very surprising that they gave the championship back to FTR, but I'm glad to see them on top again, the top guys back on top.
Yep.
And it was a good match. Kahit mahaba, sabihin yung mahaba, it was still a good match. So love that. One of the few matches I actually saw all the way through of the night. And also, with regards to Mark Briscoe, yeah, well deserved. They finally rewarded the guy, for all the blood loss he's occurred
Yeah.
in the past few months. He's been showing up. So the fact that he's out there, he's actually the champion now. It would have been interesting had he not won, but we don't really know the answer to that question anymore. And we don't need to know the answer because now he's champion. And now we just get to see what he can do with the title. Anything else for that, Emil?
We can move on to the next topic here.
All right. So the night it was filled with a lot of title changes, but also a lot of reunions, diba? With the Elite reuniting at the end of their match, diba? So Jurassic Express and sorry, the Elite went in for the save for Jurassic Express after the DCF started jumping
Yep.
the Jurassic Express post match, natapos na yung match. The Young Bucks actually won. So okay na. And then Don Callis, still not satisfied, orders the Bucks to beat on the Jurassic Express. The Bucks weren't having it, and that's where the face turn happened. So what do you think about what went down, Emil?
Let me correct you there. The family was beating down on Kenny and
On
the
Kenny, tama
Express.
pala, sorry.
And then the Bucks, parang inano na ni Don Callis, tara na, ulis na tayo.
Yes.
You got the money. And then the Bucks saw what was happening. They finally had enough. Because they've been teasing this one for a while, di ba? Na they are hesitant to attack Kenny Omega. So they finally did the reunion on this pay-per-view, and I'm okay with it. I mean, yun na nga like it was pretty much expected. Once the Bucks were showing babyface traits again, diba? They were sympathetic towards Kenny again. Na ito na yung ito na yung bunga nung storyline nung All In. Na they lost the EVP, they became broke. Wala, they earned money pero nawala sa casino. Kasi ito na yung payoff ng story na yun. It's them basically reuniting back the Elite. So I'm glad then, na it happened this way. It's always better when all three of them, or I guess all five of them at this point, are complete and together.
Yeah, Luchasaurus all of a sudden is now part of the
yes. By de facto.
By de facto, tama ka doon. But it's nice to see. I don't really know if anybody really needed to see the Elite reunited kasi ang dami nang nangyayari sa AEW at this point. Right? But yes, I like how there's a payoff because it rounds off the story, diba? It's full circle. But at the same time, I'm trying to figure out where to place the Elite in the larger AEW structure where you have internal strife in the DCF and you have the Death Riders going through their own thing. And then you have Samoa Joe and Hangman and Swerve now part of the main event picture. Parang ang hirap nga hanapan ng lugar. Diba? So which is, again, this is a problem AEW has had for quite some time because of their very bloated rosters and limited amount of airtime. So sana hindi mawalan yung mga tao that really also deserve, some airtime, some story time.
Well, I mean, I think they're gonna continue the feud with Don Callis' family. I mean, Kenny versus Don Callis has been happening for what, 2 years now?
Jesus Christ, oo nga.
Diba? And hindi pa rin siya matapos-tapos. So as long as Kenny and Don are there, yung mga nakapaligid sa kanila will continue.
And then at the same time, Okada and and what's his
Takeshita.
face? Takeshita, there we go.
Oh,
Also doing their own thing. That's also
oh.
part of the DCF storyline. So
Mm,
medyo, I don't know, man. So it's just it's very chaotic on the AEW side of things, but
yeah.
we still watch regardless.
Yep.
On to more fallout from Full Gear, yung mga former WWE talents, namely Mercedes Moné and John Moxley, failed to cinch a W for their respective sides. Mercedes Moné puts over Chris Statlander. Stat is still your AEW Women's World Champion. John Moxley, which is significant, he taps out to Kyle O'Reilly yet
Again.
again. And when the Death Riders came out for whatever they what to do, I forget what they were about to do. But when the Death
Wala.
Riders came
No,
out,
they
wala si Pac. Wala
yeah.
si Pac.
And then
So,
when Roddy and I think Orange Cassidy came out, wala. Like before, Death Riders would like stomp on them, would beat them up. But here, wala, they just retreated, and that's a sign. That is something. I think they wanted to tell us something there. With the way they are telling the
I know.
story, that
What do you say? What do you think
they
they
are
want to
losing
say?
belief on John Moxley.
Okay.
Diba? They're losing belief on him as the guy because he keeps losing all these matches against Kyle O'Reilly. Diba? Pangalawang sunod din, diba? Na
Yeah.
nagtapaw siya kay
Yeah.
Kyle.
For last one was at Blood and
Blood and
Guts.
Guts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Moxley has been losing a lot lately as well. So, it's telling na okay, the turn might be coming here. Maybe not next week, but you could see that Claudio is sick of sick of Moxley. You can see it in his face. You can see it in everyone's face in the Death Riders when they cut parang a backstage promo after that. Na Moxley was rambling on, but the rest of the Death Riders were just looking at him with they're kind of disgusted with Moxley. So all these losses have a purpose in the story. So I like how it went down. And again, Kyle O'Reilly with a big pay per view win here. I mean, I'm a fan of Big Kyle. And looks like he's gonna get a push here for a title. Like I guess at some point for Mercedes. Yun nga, I think sinabi ko nung Thursday na if she loses here, she's gonna start to have this reputation of um a big match choker kasi this is her second shot at the women's championship and she loses again to loses again. So yeah, you could win all these titles, di ba? Yung mga independent titles, the TBS title, the Ring of Honor TV title. But if you can't win the big one, eh wala. You're still gonna be that guy who lost the big match. And I think that's the story they're trying to tell here.
Yeah. It's interesting because number one, I still had Stat winning it. I did
Yep.
not think Mercedes was going to win this one. But at the same time, yung logic na natatalo si Mercedes ng ganito kadami in big matches is pretty interesting considering she also has 15 belts now.
Yeah.
Di ba? So parang medyo, by the way, shout out to Tommy Invincible.
Oh yeah, he was there.
That voice, yeah. Medyo, wait, Tommy Invincible. It's like,
Oh, he was there holding one of the titles.
so, but it's just funny that's the story they're trying to paint for Mercedes because she has all these titles and yet can't win the big one, diba?
Yeah.
Diba? So it's I don't know what the purpose is here. Diba? I don't know if this affects her credibility in the indies even, but it's an interesting take on like this super wrestler that they're trying to build her as. With regards to Moxley, I agree. They are definitely the writers are definitely on their way to kicking John Moxley out. Diba? It's a matter of time. He was dropping the ball way too much. And again, I'm a fan of this story because if anything, it shows me that John Moxley can actually tell a story.
Yes.
So yung rise and fall or fall and rise, however you want to put it, the John Moxley at this point is going to be a must watch here. And I can't wait. Anything else you want to talk about the Full Gear? I mean,
let's talk about Ricochet. It's the new
oh, that's right. Thank
AEW
you.
Yeah, he's
That's
the
right. A
new AEW
Ricochet
national champion.
winning the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal to become your first AEW national champion.
Yeah, we called it. I think all three of us said it was gonna
Yes.
be Ricochet. Kasi inisip na natin, sino sa AEW at this point have done so much that kind of deserves something here, diba? And like everyone else is busy with their own match or their own rivalry, but Ricochet is someone na parang nawala siya sa mix after feuding with
Yeah.
with the Hurt Syndicate. So like parang nag-click lang sa atin. Okay, it's a good idea to have Ricochet win the title kasi so that at least he has something. Kasi the guy's been working hard. The guy's been putting out some of the best heel character work in AW this year. So for me, well deserved naman. A very well deserving win for Ricochet. And that title belt looks fine. People were kind of hating on it. Sabi daw, it kind of looks like the NWA National Champions, which is, I think that's the point. No, TK basically said yung inspiration of title is the NWA National Championship, which is, that's why the design didn't bother me at all. But yeah, props to Ricochet. Congrats to him.
Kaya nagagalit si Jim Cornette eh. Kasi Jim Cornette going mad on Twitter over the weekend. Anyway, but yeah, I agree. See, Ricochet really deserves this title because he's the best representation of AEW talent right
Mm.
now.
Yep.
I like what he's been able to do while he was part of the company. And, I can't wait to see Ricochet go hard in New Japan again. Diba? Ricochet go hard in CMLL.
Yeah.
Ricochet go hard in all those other companies, diba? Smaller companies, ROH maybe even. So, ang ganda lang ng move na to. And, I can't wait. All right, so that does it for our thoughts on Full Gear. Pero, di lang naman Full Gear yung nangyari over the weekend. We also had Friday Night SmackDown where we saw both teams of the Women's War Games match fill their slots up. We had AJ Lee joining the faces and Becky Lynch joining the heels. So, Emil, anong tingin mo nangyari dito?
I like the AJ Lee inclusion kasi siya yung parang veteran, di ba? She's been there the longest. And I think Corey pointed out something during the show when they were making their entrance that yung silang apat, this is not a team. These are two teams of duos. Yeah. So having AJ Lee there, so I want them to like parang make something of that in the go home. Although na tape na ata for Raw for tomorrow, diba? To cook something with there kasi yun nga, it doesn't look like a team yet to me. Although yun na, may set ng lima. So although I did like what they did nung SmackDown nung they had the sit down between Charlotte and Rhea, which is is good.
Yung surprise
Yes.
sit down.
Yeah, the sit down that they did. So the AJ Lee inclusion is nice. The Becky Lynch also wasn't the surprise kasi kung si AJ sa kabila, sino yung ka-feud niya? Si Becky Lynch. So, matik na yun, di ba? So, the Becky Lynch inclusion also wasn't a surprise. So, there. Muna yung War Games teams for the women.
Yeah, the men's have their 5, the women's have their 5. We are going to get to predicting War Games this Thursday on the live stream. But for me, I think this was just makes the most sense in terms of storytelling here again with your AJ Lee and Becky Lynch picks. You not only solidify the teamwork both teams need to have coming into a War Games match. Kasi you have your AJ Lee that serves as the veteran influence on the face side, and then Becky Lynch really just there to play the foil to AJ Lee. So,
yes.
Yung tama ka dun sa sinabi mo, that everybody there, kontrapelo sila. So come War Games, everybody's gonna go crazy on one another. But yeah, so it's just, it makes the perfect sense at this point. Mas nagme-make sense tong War Games lineups ng women kaysa dun sa men.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree as well.
But yeah, moving on to the men's side of the War Games match, Cody Rhodes cost Bronson Reed a slot in the last time is now tournament after he cost Bronson his match against Mello. Mello now moves on in the finals, or sorry, quarterfinals,
Semifinals.
semifinals of the last time is now tournament, and a shot at facing the GOAT John Cena.
Hindi quarter pala kasi apat pang matchups eh. So
Oh, tama nga ako
quarterfinals.
kanina, quarter
sorry,
na.
sorry. Alright. You know what? I am excited for Melo versus Gunther. Nakita ko yung bracket nung pinakita nila ng SmackDown and Gunther is gonna face Melo. That's gonna be a good one. Let's talk about that promo that Cody cut after the
Oh
match.
yeah, let's talk about that.
That
That's
was
right.
a
Yeah.
passionate promo.
Yeah.
And that in itself, okay.
Historically, Steiners are
yeah.
never better than Rhodes. It's like,
God
damn, he went there.
And yung sinabi niya, War Games is his birthright. So yun nga, diba? Dusty
created. That's it.
played a role in the creation of War Games. So with that one promo, I was, I bought in, and we were talking about how shaky the build-up is, but all it takes is just one great Cody Rhodes promo for me to buy in. Although I do think they still have to do, they still have ways to go in the build. May Raw pa bukas, so tingnan natin kung ano mangyayari. But damn, that Cody Rhodes promo, walang solidified the hype, at least for me. Na, di ba, I was questioning last week bakit nandito si Cody Rhodes sa match na to. And then now, okay, I was convinced after that promo. So it was a great promo. Sayang nga lang, no SmackDown, wala si CM Punk and si Roman Reigns eh. It was only the Usos and Rhodes on the babyface side. So it would have been nice if, we had both Punk and Roman. But again, probably they're gonna be on Raw tomorrow, and that's where the final like face off will happen.
I do agree that we've talked about Cody that nagsasawa na tayo sa title reign niya.
Yeah.
He needs to mix it up, but man, when the guy wants to turn it on, he turns it on.
Yes.
Diba? That's the reason they called him like Captain America or Homelander, kasi he has that charisma. He's very capable of doing a promo, lisp or not. Diba? So ang galang na he was able to do that for this particular promo, because it's not that it negated the storytelling necessary to justify the lineups, but it made us believe in this War Games match a little bit more, diba? Na parang ito yung payoff na kapalit nun. Is it better? I can't really say, but it was sure one hell of a promo. Kasi nasa top na siya ng promos ko for 2025, because my God, what a performance there.
It is up there for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then si Melo advancing to face Gunther. You know what? People are saying Gunther is a favorite. I want an upset. I want them to give Melo the slot.
People are actually saying that.
I want them to give Melo something. If this is about John Cena putting over a young guy, Melo is way younger than Gunther.
Yeah.
Melo has also never held anything on the main roster. So if this is about a young guy getting put over, I say give it to Melo. He's super talented, and he's been done so dirty in his main roster run. Now, feeling go, this is the time that he needs to prove to step up. And if it goes the way that we think it's going to go, that I'm hoping it's going to go, then it'll be one hell of a match against Gunther.
For sure. Again, whoever comes out of this matchup, yun yung favorite ko. Right. Who's favorite on who's gonna win the tournament? Kasi you could make really great cases with Melo and Gunther. Diba? Sinabi mo na chino yung kay Melo. Gunther, again, he's the final boss. He's the monster heel, diba, of the WWE. So I won't mind either of them, honestly. But I'm sure we're gonna get a great match, and whoever comes out, I will root for them to win this tournament all the way.
All right, that does it for the SmackDown side of things. Pero di pa tayo tapos. Kasi ang dami din nangyari sa AAA. AAA had a show over the weekend as well. And it just really set up a lot of future WWE AAA crossovers, including the reunion of the Lucha Bros. Penta and Ray Phoenix are set to tag together for the first time under the WWE banner against Dirty Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano.
First of all, I'm surprised that they were able to build the tag team as Lucha Bros. I thought that's a AEW trademark, diba?
No, it was a trademark that they've used outside before, way
Okay.
before.
All right. The second thing is, naalala ko bigla, when they were cutting a promo, naalala ko bigla na they were the AAA tag team champions during the early days of AEW. 'Di ba? Yun yung
Yes.
yeah, yun yung pinaglabanan nila nung Young Bucks during the early days of AEW, pre-Dynamite era. So, naalala ko lang na they were also AAA tag team champions. So, may history na sila with AAA. So, for them to reunite...
they are former AAA.
Yeah, they're also former AAA talents. So, the fact that they are reuniting in a AAA show, parang okay lang sa akin. Like, I was expecting them to reunite in WWE, or maybe in the future they still will, but I really thought the first time that they would team up, being WWE signed talents, is in a WWE show. But no, very convenient na rin eh. Okay, AAA has a show and they need to, to draw people, and who better than than people who used to work for AAA and is a big name down there in Mexico. And again,
they don't used to work. They are name brands.
Oh yeah, they are.
Mexico.
Yeah,
they are big names in the Lucha Libre world.
Right.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this was also one of the reasons they got signed to the WWE, because they were also kind of guaranteed that they could play both in the WWE and in AAA. So the fact that they get to crossover like that is interesting, because they haven't really tagged together. In fact, they're on opposite brands.
Yes.
On the main rosters of WWE. But then in AAA, it's like nothing happened. No time has passed. They are tag teams. They're a tag team once again. So it's a very interesting take here creatively. Pero hindi naman din binary ng WWE na magkapatid sila. So it's still, it's still pretty much acknowledged. It's just an interesting note for me. Yeah, but it's still going to be a good match. All four of these guys we know are very talented, and the future matchups of AAA are gonna go crazy. Speaking of another tag team, the Wyatt Six, after jumping Los Psycho Circus for multiple times, they get to challenge them for the AAA tag titles at Guerra de Titanes.
This was
happening, but yes.
This was not a surprise kasi yun nga, di ba? Paulit-ulit na yung attacks ng Wyatt Six on the tag team champions. We saw it in the last parang what was it? Like Worlds Collide show?
No, it was hindi. Oh, I think it was a Worlds Collide show.
Yeah,
yes.
The Worlds Collide show was like I think the last time that I saw the tag team champions, and they got attacked by the Wyatt Six. So it was a matter of time, and I guess the big December show that they're gonna have is where they're gonna challenge them for the titles. And it's gonna be interesting if they actually win the titles and they become double champions here, because they are the current WWE tag team champions.
SmackDown, tag team champions.
So if they if they became double champs, that's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting if they do pull that trigger, because that'll be yet another title. And really, the only remaining AAA tag title left in AAA that's held by a AAA faction. Diba? Kasi remember, the mixed tag, or sorry, sige, sabihin na natin, I know they have trios title. I can't remember who holds it right now. Pero the mixed tag title of AAA is currently held by the greatest North Americans in Ethan Page and Chelsea Green. So the fact that they also give this to the WWE wrestlers, there might be a riot in Mexico City for all we know.
So bagay yung Latin North American pa naman. Dr.
Elhio to Dr. Wagner Jr.
Wala pa naman sa WWE. So, pero baka yun na din susunod, di ba?
Right, but ito pa, meron pang another title that might go WWE
Oh,
side.
yeah.
Javon Evans wins the number one contender spot to face Laredo Kid for the AAA Cruiserweight Championship.
Man, that is gonna be a banger. We already saw these two go against each other nung ano, di ba? Nung was yung fatal four-way with Page and Phoenix, di ba?
Right.
For the North American Championship. So, uh, yeah, they are. Javon Evans is all over the place here. He was on Raw. He appears sometimes on SmackDown. He's on NXT. He's on TNA. He's on AAA. So parang it's clear to me that they really see something in this guy. Na may ang laking star potential nitong si Javon Evans, and they're trying to capitalize on it by having him wrestle on all shows possible. So now that he's gonna have another banger here against the Laredo Kid, so I'm hyped for it. I'm super excited for that match.
And we no doubt going to be another high flying fiesta here, but at the same time, I think there's a bigger possibility for this title to go to WWE side because giving it to Javon Evans rewards him for all the hard work that he's
Yep.
been putting out here week in and week out. Parang siya ni Gunther, and then he fought for the NXT Tag Team Champions and Championships in 1 week. In the same week, he did all that. So, fact that this young buck is out here, doing his work, dapat lang ma-reward siya, diba? With something here. So I want to see him win. I want to see him go all the way with this, diba? Laredo Kid has already had his time as the AAA Cruiserweight champion. He's been champion for quite some time now.
Yep.
So I think it's about time that they put more eyes on the AAA product by giving it to an up-and-coming star like Javon Evans. And that does it for the thoughts of the wrestling weekend rather. If you guys really want to tell us anything, what you thought, what you think, what you disagree with, what you agree with, let us know in the comment section or over on our social media pages at Wrestling Podcast, at Wrestling 2X Pod. All right, now it's time for us to get to our picks of the week, and we will go through this chronologically. Let's start off all the way to last Tuesday, Manila time, for Monday Night Raw with my pick of the incredible six-man tag opener during John Cena's last Monday Night Raw. Now, we always talk about work rate, diba? Yung Broadways,
Yeah.
mga incredible spots. Oh my God. This is none of that. It's none of that. Yes, there were spots. There were things to talk about here, about amazing moves and all that. But to me, what this is seeing your heroes take their victory lap. Diba?
Yes.
It's there for you to be reduced to a child and remember the time when John Cena made his debut, when Rey Mysterio made his debut, when Sheamus made his debut. I remember all those times, and now I'm seeing all of them in the twilight of their careers. Diba? John Cena right now, AJ Styles right behind his heels, Randy Orton din, baka nandyan na. Then you have Rey and Sheamus. Pretty soon, all these guys are going to retire, and it's sad that we get that, but I'm not sad that we're getting to see our wrestlers, the heroes that we grew up with, retire, but I'm happy that I got to see them at their peak. And this is just very nostalgic for me, very cathartic, and really one of the best things I've seen all wrestling weekend.
Yeah, this match was fun. Just so fun seeing John Cena for the final time on Raw. Just do his thing. Also fun seeing Sheamus and Rey Mysterio in there. And tama nga, Chino. Sometimes wrestling, we always want the Broadway, the 5-star, the cinema. But if you just sit down and watch greats do their thing, parang asaya eh. Asaya lang, asaya, it takes us back to the time where we really don't care about all those stuff and all we care about is just enjoying what we're watching. Parang ganun. Yun yung ano eh. I share the same sentiments as you watching this match. And yun nga, it's John Cena's final Raw match. And ang gandang trivia question yan someday. Who was the person who got pinned in John Cena's last TV match ever? Diba? Yun. JD McDonough.
JD McDonough, who we'll talk about in a bit, but we're
Yeah.
moving to Stan's pick also from Monday Night Raw. It was Javon Evans and Gunther making his
Yes.
return in the Last Time Is Now tournament. So, according to Stan, it was a very good intro to mainstream casual wrestling fans as to who Javon Evans is. It's a resounding welcome back for Gunther, and we all celebrate the return of Dvorak. His yung symphony niya that he walks out to. I also thought the match was very good. We talked about it in extent nung live stream. So go listen to last week's live stream if you can. But yeah, definitely glad that the music is back. Nakakatawa lang yung argument na nakikita ko on threads, which is where I'm mostly in, where people are saying they want the old music back because they want people to know who Gunther is. Remember how there's a part there that says the intro plays and then Gunther, and then the rest of the song plays. Parang pag yan daw yung ginamit na song, hindi daw nila kinala. Which is like
The fuck,
the
man?
dumbest fucking argument ever. Like they need to be spoon fed like that. So parang na just a thing that I saw that just made my day.
By the way, shout out to Captain Mike. Thank you for your 100 stars. He sent us
Hey, thank you,
stars.
Captain Mike.
Thank you, Captain Mike. All right. Yeah, I actually said na ano, di ba? Pabiro ko sinabi na the Dvorak Symphony 9 is my favorite piece of classical music.
Oh,
And again,
nag-research ka na ba ng classical music?
yeah, I did dig through my
Name 5, sabi ni Jasper.
I did dig through my classical music over the weekend.
Oh,
Pero yun,
ano na, de, joke.
na, pero yun nga eh, ang ganda ng match, and this is where Gonto is at his best. Pagkalaban niya is yung mga cruiserweights, yung mga smaller guys. That's the yun yung parang best Gunter matches na napapanood ko, eh, di ba? We had so many classics with smaller wrestlers like di ba, Ilya Dragunov, Axiom, di ba? Ito ngayon si Javon Evans. So, and Javon Evans himself really, like, you know, this was a showcase for him. This was his first time on Monday Night Raw, and in sa ano pa, MSG pa. So, ang big deal nun, di ba, for someone who, you know, is so young in the business. So, again, this was my, I think, favorite match of the weekend. Again, na-dims kasi ni Stan. This was supposed to be my pick of the week, but he got it first. So, yeah, I love this match. And I expect the same next week or tomorrow in Melo versus Gunter. Kasi parehas din eh. Parehas din ng ano eh. Si Javon and Melo are same in size, almost same in style.
Hindi naman,
High
how dare
flying
you?
din.
Melo was jacked. So,
Pero yung ano, yung style nila, ganun din, high flying
yes,
din.
the high flying
Yun.
style.
So I'm excited for tomorrow as well.
Right. So moving on to Friday night SmackDown, the only SmackDown pick going out to Emil Nate. So tell us what you picked.
All right, so my pick is the US Open US title Open Challenge between Ilya Dragunov and the man who answered the challenge on SmackDown, JD McDonough. So this is JD's second appearance on the pick of the week this week. And it was a great match. Parang we got a taste of NXT UK, diba, in this match. Kasi both guys were from NXT UK. And this match was wrestled with so much intensity in every move, in every spot. And talagang ano eh, alam mong may chemistry sila, and they have history working with each other. And it's another, again, picking the US title Open Challenge for picks of the week is almost a cheat code at this point kasi every week, ang ganda lagi ng mga matches, and either Jagodov just brings out the best in everyone, and including this one as well. But online after this match, I'm seeing more praises for JD McDonough. He's very hindi ba underrated but underappreciated kasi di ba he's always in tags. He's always the bump guy for the Judgment Day, but he is a hell of a wrestler as well. We saw it in NXT. We saw it in NXT UK. He had in the Indies as well. He is a reliable guy inside the ring, one of the best, and I'm glad that he got his shine this week in a singles match against, in a singles title match actually against, also one of the best in either Dragunov.
Yeah, sabi ni babyface producer Jasper, y'all forgot about JD
Yeah.
2.0 and Jordan
Yes.
Devlin, the real
Yes.
name of
Yeah.
JD McDonough. Tama ka, I like this because it was very reminiscent of NXT UK, diba? We all missed and love NXT UK here on the pod. So the fact that every time we get to see like two UK guys, parang lahat tayo
Uh,
nakaturo sa TV, diba? Diba? UK,
yeah.
UK, diba? Kasi it's rare that they let the WWE lets us fans relive that magic. And last Saturday here, Manila time, we got a little bit of that back. Diba? It was a good match. Nakakatawa din yung spot na hinedbutt ni Ilya si JD tapos nahiglo siya. It's like, it's like, I don't know if everybody got that, but if you did, good for you. Nakakatawa siya. Because he has a big end. But it's a funny, but it was a good match. Very hard hitting. Tama kayo. It's also cheating. Parang every week na lang, lagi may
Uh,
nagsasabi US Open Challenge, right? Because it's always good. And, I hope it stays good. I
yep.
hope they keep doing these fire matches, diba? Giving us the work rate matches that everybody loves to drool over on social media. So good job here, Emil Nate. So now let's go on to the final pick of this very busy wrestling weekend. This is Rose pick, and it goes out to the only match on Full Gear,
Yeah.
Jare. The only match that he picked from Full Gear goes to Brodito and FTR. Sabi niya, what a match. I've said many times on the podcast that I'm personally over FTR's brand of overlong tag team wrestling that kind of comes off as as masturbatory because they want to be known as great workers first and foremost. But when it clicks with the right opponent in a match that's big enough, their style really pays off. Brodito are those right opponents, and the title match on a pay-per-view is the right place for it, not necessarily random main events on a Saturday collision. FTR proved their place as the greatest tag team of all time debate, even if they're not necessarily going to win it yet. Bandito and Brody King rather, are also megastars in the making if the hand is played correctly. And speaking of GOAT debates, Bandito notched another match in
Yeah.
insane 2025 Male Wrestler of the Year run. He is that dude.
Yeah. I think sinabi ko na in a previous pick of the week episode as well when I picked the Bandido match na this guy is in the running for Wrestler of the Year with the caliber of matches that he has been putting out, and this one is not an exception. This is another badge on the great year for Bandido. This time in the tag team with Brody King. We already talked about this earlier. Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung first part na sinabi ko ni Ro is what I meant by saying sometimes I take FTR for granted kasi parang may mga times na you just watch an FTR match but okay, they're gonna go through 20 minutes of action but parang yung ending lang talaga abangan ko kasi yun alam mo na yung gagawin nila for those 20 minutes but sometimes they just wow me, and this is one of the rare times na yun na I parang appreciate ko ulit who FTR is as a tag team, di ba? They're a special breed, parang parang a dying breed din of tag teams that will go on marathons each and every week, and this is napapagod. Their cardio is so exceptional, and that's why I said yung sinabi ko kanina na sometimes I take FTR for granted. But again, they do make a case as being one of the greatest tag teams of all time. They're now a 12-time tag team champion. 12-time tag team champions kasi yung nakalagay sa title sila 11 eh. So nasa sila, so 12 na yan, di ba? So this is the best match in the Full Gear card. So, I'm not surprised na ito yung kaisa-isang match in the Full Gear that was picked for picks of the week. And yeah, if you don't have much time to watch the entire pay-per-view, this is the one match that I suggest you take the time and really watch.
Yeah, if you don't have half a day.
Yes, half a day.
To watch Full Gear, then you at least you need just like 30 minutes just to watch it back. So
yes.
It was very good. I will agree with all your sentiments. It was very good. I will always raise the flag of FTR. I am such a big fan of theirs through and through. I find them highly entertaining, very cool, but also very entertaining. And you know what? They're one of the rare tag teams that I can see in the main event picture of things, wherein they're there as a tag team.
Yeah.
Hindi sila there individually. You know what I mean? They make it significant being a tag team. So the fact that they can do that and elevate the division like that, kudos to them.
Yeah, them and the Young Bucks. Those are the only two. Yeah.
I actually like FTR better.
Alright, that's fair.
We know how I feel about the Bucks.
Alright.
But that does it for this week's wrestling breakdown on a Monday night. Thank you for joining us for the Weekend Reax episode. If you guys want to give us your thoughts, if you want to let us know a little something, if you want to even send us sponsorship requests, and follow us on social media, it's at Chino Supersized for myself, at EML_Meister for Emil over here, at _Stan for Stan, and at Ro is War for Ro. For the podcast, it is at Wrestling2XPod on Twitter, at the Wrestling Podcast on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else. We will be back here on Thursday night to break down the rest of the wrestling week, as well as give you our predictions for Survivor Series War Games. Until next time, I have been Chino Liao. This has been Emil Nick, and this is the Wrestling Podcast. Stay safe, guys. Good night.